at St Matthew's, we really enjoyed taking part in the STEM Fest in Space event last October.
We made a video to show people how to make the Ogden Trust solar system in my pocket. It was fun seeing ourselves on screen.
In December, we also took part in a space conference about the solar system. We made a news programme about where Santa Claus should set up a new toy workshop.
And we did the engineering book building challenge with the Marine Society. In fact, we've done quite a lot this year, despite the pandemic.
I really liked Science Week, and when we went into the hall, I really liked the swirly thing which made a sound and it went round and round.
On Science Week, I really enjoyed doing the pasta tower with the spaghetti.
And I liked Science Week because it was fun, creative and imaginable. And I would love to do it again next year.
How many stars would you give the day?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Probably a 5.
A 5-star. A 5 out of 5.
If there was 10 stars, I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
So I became a STEM ambassador so that I can make a positive impact.
So I decided to become a STEM ambassador because I'm passionate about helping the local community, and I believe it's really important to encourage the next generation of talent into the IT industry.
Well, my wife was actually a STEM ambassador already. She did some work on it, so she'd kind of mentioned it to me and said about the good work that they did. And I run a coding club for children, and we want to try and make the volunteers give them a little bit more of a structure, I suppose, to what they were doing. So we suggested that we get them to be STEM ambassadors, and it also had the benefit as well as that they got a DBS checked, which is obviously important when you're working with children.
I was interested in becoming a STEM ambassador purely selfish reasons, because I wanted to improve my own communication skills. I wanted to improve my presentation skills, but I also found when I started doing it that it was really good to inspire children and young people into getting into STEM careers. So I found it in a fun way as well. So it's not all dry subject, it's very entertaining, but it's educational at the same time. So it's definitely to inspire children as well.
Being able to reach a wide range of children or young people to influence them into that is so important, and it's really rewarding to do that.
It's great to be able to connect with the younger generation.
And I think that being a STEM ambassador is really important to help develop the next generation of talent and really show them what options that they have for their career development.
This program allows students to get mentored by people who are established in the field or following a path that they would like to be on. Basically, it's something I didn't have and that I would like the future generation to have. So that's why I'm interested in the program.
I volunteered to become a STEM ambassador to inspire the next generation and offer advice on new career paths and career opportunities.
It was an opportunity to share my experience from the world of work, to try and pass on some advice.
I became a STEM ambassador because I think it's really important to encourage a range of students into STEM.
And also, when I thought back to myself, when I was leaving school and starting work, there's always lots of questions that you can't really get answered from a textbook or an interview, and thought it'd be a great way to be able to share some of that experience and give back a little bit.
I'm really lucky that I've got a job that I love, and being a STEM ambassador is part of that. It's really rewarding to encourage young people, inspire the future generation. It has business benefits as well as giving personal benefits as well.
So I really love being a STEM ambassador because not only do I get enjoyment out of being a STEM ambassador, but I really enjoy how happy and enthusiastic it makes the students that I work with. And it helps to build their skills, their confidence and their sense of satisfaction. And not only do I get a sense of achievement and reward, but so do the students that get involved as well.
It's about the young people, it's about hearing their take on today's world, and also to network with other adults who work in a STEM environment.
Well, for me, it's working with the children, so getting the buzz when you show them something that's hopefully cool that they haven't seen before, which is quite hard with kids today. So that's probably the best thing really, and the feedback that you get from them, and the energy that they provide as well keeps you relatively young as well.
The most enjoyable thing about being a STEM ambassador is working with the students of all age groups and knowing that they are genuinely interested in becoming an engineer. I personally feel rewarded by their interest in wanting to know what job roles are out there and what they can achieve by doing well at school.
I think the most enjoyable thing is actually going out there and doing your activity, especially an activity that one I created myself. And when I see the engagement with the children and how they react to your activity and how they enjoy it and what they get out of it and the feedback afterwards. So that's definitely a very rewarding experience.
I think it's seeing the mentees grow. You kind of get to know them over the course of the programme. You see them grow in confidence, see them asking questions, and you start to understand what interests them, what motivates them, what they're passionate about. It's just a really positive sort of thing to be able to do, and I think it gives you a lot of satisfaction.
And that's the whole reason why you are a STEM ambassador and why you want to do it for them, because you want to see them do well and progress and do everything that they want to do in life, and it's just nice to be able to contribute.
I think the most enjoyable thing about being a STEM ambassador is seeing the outcomes of the activities that you are doing with the students. So I love when I go in and potentially do a practical activity, or more recently doing virtual activity, and being sent the outcomes of them and seeing the creativity that the students come up with.
So I think the activity that's really gauged the most interest with the students that I've got involved with is a Dragon's Den style activity. And this is where we've asked them to come up with a technology product or service for DXC technology. And then the idea is, as a small team of people, they have to come up with an innovative idea. And then they have to present this back to a panel of dragons. And we asked them to try and draw the product and try and be as imaginative and creative as possible and try and come up with a new innovative idea. And some of the ideas that we've actually come up with have actually come into fruition at DXC as well.
I've been involved in 2 of the STEMtastic events that have happened at Virgin Money, and I've also taken the activity to different schools. I've done a paper plane activity, which is to do with understanding the importance of design, documentation, testing, building a prototype. I've also done a Lightbox session, which is showing children how to code and the importance of coding. And so it's been really interesting, different activities. I think it's really important because it just inspires children to get involved with science, technology, maths, engineering, and get into them kind of subjects, because they always need new people coming in.
I've also been very heavily involved in mentoring. So I've done a number of mentoring programs over my years of being a STEM ambassador. And this is a really good way to work with students that may have less idea of what they want to do in their future career. And it's about working with them to try and set smart goals to help them to work towards their chosen career path and really get them to kind of reflect on what they really find the most interesting at school. The evidence shows that just from having that little extra support, they have a much better understanding of kind of the career path that they want to go down, which is really rewarding as well from my perspective.
We run a coding club for children, so we also advertise for additional volunteers using the STEM website and system.
Most of the activities I've done have been around mentoring and helping students transition from education to the world of work.
I also volunteered for the STEM mentoring program. So I helped a young person who was looking to study medicine, and because I was working in the NHS, I was hopefully able to provide some sort of useful information. So that was really nice.
What we find is that these younger students really think outside the box and think of gaps in the market that we might not have thought about, and it's a great way to kind of take their creative ideas of thinking outside the box and making them real as well.
Before COVID, we'd meet up face to face, but now we meet up remotely. It kind of really helps the mentees to understand the world of work, to learn a little bit about what real life is like. We can pass on the benefit of our experience, but also we can reflect a little bit on our own journey, talk about any mistakes we've made, what we learned from them. You just kind of pass on that experience to mentees, and try and help them in their sort of journey on the way to starting work.
All the engagements that I've done since lockdown have been virtual. And as you can imagine, there's always the odd chance that you are going to have technical difficulties, which can really impact the session, depending on what it is. But then on the other hand, there's actually been more positives from going virtual. It means that there's opened up to much more engagements. I've been much more flexible who I've been able to do STEM ambassador initiatives with. So now it's opened it up to the whole region, and I've been doing virtual events across the whole of the UK. So although there's been some negatives, I would say that there's been a greater positive.
So for me, COVID did bring up a few challenges, obviously not being able to go into schools. And I think also the challenge was there with the students and the teachers. They had to very quickly adapt to a situation that no one was used to. So it also meant that they were spending more time trying to find a new way of working.
It has been difficult during the lockdown to deliver the activities the same way as we did before, because everything was very face-to-face and hands-on, and so it has been difficult to keep it, like, the momentum going. So hopefully that will change once things come back to normal.
It has been difficult. Obviously our sessions with the children were all stopped. So what we did is we moved online, and the kids really enjoy it. It's not without its challenges. Having sort of 10, 15 children all on Zoom together can be interesting. But to be fair, the kids have been fantastic, actually.
So for me, lockdown meant that we just had to adapt in a different way. So doing virtual online stuff, career talks online as well. And I think the students really benefited from this, because it meant that although they were in a very weird situation, they still got to have a bit of fun at home, still doing practical activities, and made sure everything was based around something they could do in the house. So using, tinfoil or Lego and things like that.
It's really important for us to have that engagement and that dialogue with young people and make careers in STEM and at GSK accessible for everybody.
I think the programme is so important because it's a whole year-round programme. We have a lot of brilliant initiatives throughout the year, like International Women in Engineering Day or British Science Week, so many amazing activities, but often they're just focused on 1 week or 1 day. Whereas the STEM Ambassador programme goes throughout the entire year and is continuously educating students on STEM and getting them to do fun practical activities to remind them of the brilliant opportunities that could be out there for them. So I think that's why it's so important that we continue this work.
I have had students who keep on asking and asking questions upon questions, and while they sometimes feel that it might irritate me, it doesn't, because I know that they're very interested in what I have to say, and I know for a fact that they would at least take away one thing, a minimum one thing away from that conversation, and I'm sure it'll have a positive impact on their life.
I feel the STEM program is important, extremely important. Some of these students haven't heard of so many different career roles, and it's important to enlighten them and share new ideas. It gives them a real sense of hope that they can achieve anything as long as they work hard at school and choose the career path most suitable and interesting to them.
In events is to give them an insight into what they do when they're older. It's not sort of just their classroom activity, it's sort of inspiring them to be able to think, right, well, I'm going to do that, and I want to do that when I'm older, I'm going to do it really well. So it's nice to be able to sort of open that up to them.
Describe the STEM Ambassador experience in one word. One word, that's so hard. Rewarding.
Amazing.
Inspirational.
Fun.
Rewarding.
I would say engaging from both sides, from my side and from the student side.
Worthwhile.
Satisfying.
Enlightening.
It's definitely rewarding.